Hello friends, welcome to Finance MCQ channel and I am CMA Akula Sridhar. Friends, in the coming days I will be bringing some important MCQs for your exam preparation of BHEL Supervisor Trainee Finance scheduled on 30th June of this year. So please try to solve the MCQs along with me and let me know if you have any queries in the comment box below. So let's begin. So friends, the first question is, which of the following statements are correct regarding cumulative preference shareholders? The first option is preferential rights to receive shares in case of new issue. Second option is they are considered owners of the company. Option C is right to claim dividend cumulatively. Option D is right to participate in voting. And option E is that all of the above statements are correct. So friends, what is the correct answer? Well, the correct answer is option C, that is right to claim dividend cumulatively. And what does that mean? Friends, it means that if a company has not declared a dividend in a particular year, it will be carried forward to the next year. Like for example, suppose friends, if for the year 2020, the company has failed to declare any dividend due to insufficient profits, in that case, the dividend will be carried forward to the next year, that is 2021. And if suppose the company has declared dividend for the year 2021, in that case, cumulative preferential shareholders will get dividend for the year 2021 as well as for the previous year, that is 2020. So that means the dividends are paid cumulatively. Moving on. Friends, next question is RG Limited issues rupees 1 lakh 6% debentures at a premium of 20% and the tax rate applicable to the company is 60%. So we have to calculate the cost of debt capital. So friends, here first of all we should know the formula to calculate the cost of debt capital. So friend, the cost of debt capital is calculated as interest rate upon net proceeds of debentures into 1 minus tax rate. So friends, if we fill the data in this formula, so interest will be 6% on the face value of debentures, that is 6,000. And net proceeds will be, so friends, here 1 lakh rupees debentures are issued at a premium of 20%. So here net proceeds will be then 1 lakh plus 20,000, that means 1 lakh 20,000. And here 1 minus applicable tax rate is 60%. So friends, if we solve this, what we will get? 6 6 2 is 1220. So 1 upon 20 into 0.4. So friends, if we solve this, we will get 0.02, that is 2%. So here the correct answer would be option B, that is 2%. Moving on. Friends, next question is, which of the following is not a technique of financial statement analysis? So options are, option A is ratio analysis, option B is bank reconciliation statement, option C is trend analysis, option D is common size analysis, and option A is cash flow statement. So friends, here the question is asking which of the following is not a technique. So friends, here the answer is option B, bank reconciliation statement. So let's understand each of these options in detail. So first of all, what is ratio analysis? So friends, remember that ratio analysis basically develops relationship between figures of financial statements such as balance sheet and profits in the form of ratios, basically to calculate profitability, liquidity, solvency, capital gearing, etc. And what is bank reconciliation statement? So friends, bank reconciliation statement is prepared by cashier to match cash book's bank column with the bank statement, basically to ensure accuracy in bank balance. And what is trend analysis? So friends, in trend analysis, percentage changes are calculated in several successive years to get an idea whether the business is trending upwards or downwards. And what is common size analysis? So friends, here total assets or total liabilities or sales is taken as 100 and the balance items are compared to them and shown as a percentage to total assets or total liabilities in case of common size balance sheet and as a percentage of total sales in case of common size income statement. And friends, as far as cash flow statement is considered, it shows movement of cash across three activities of the business, that is investing activities, financing activities, and operating activities. I hope these concepts are clear now, friends. Moving on. Friends, next question is, special resolution in a company is required to be passed by dash majority. So the option are half, 1/3, 3/4, 1/4, and none of the above. So friends, here the correct answer is option C, 3/4. So friends, remember that special resolutions in a company are required to be passed by 3/4 majority. So friends, cases where special resolutions are required includes altering memorandum of association, altering articles of association, or paying interest out of capital, or even in case of voluntary winding up of company, etc. Moving on. Friends, next question is EDI with reference to e-commerce stands for electronic data interface, explicit data interface, electronic data integrity, or electronic data interchange. So friends, here the correct answer is option D, that is electronic data interchange. So what does that mean? So friends, electronic data interchange is related to exchange of business documents in a standard electronic format between business partners. Like for example, if we want to make a purchase order, so instead of giving a physical paper order, we can use EDI, where the order will be placed in our system in a specific electronic format which is agreed beforehand with the vendor. So friends, it basically replaces paper-based document and information is shared rapidly here. Moving on. Friends, which of the following is not a primary function of banks? The options are receiving deposits, agency services, advancing loans, purchase and sale of foreign services, and friends, the last option is both B and D. So friends, here the correct answer is option E, that is both B and D, that is agency services, purchase and sale of foreign services will not be a primary function of banks. So friends, remember that the primary function of banks includes accepting deposits and advancing loans, while secondary function of banks includes various functions such as discounting bills of exchange, agency functions such as sale and purchase of stocks and shares on client's behalf, issuing letter of credit, buying and selling of foreign exchange, etc. Moving on. Friends, next question is which of the following is not an essential characteristic of a promissory note? The options are it is an expressed promise to pay, it should be definite and unconditional, it should be signed by the maker, and there is a certain sum of money is involved in promissory note, and last option is oral promise to pay is sufficient. So friends, here the question is asking which of the following is not an essential characteristic. So friends, here the correct answer is option E, that is oral promise to pay is sufficient. So friends, a promissory note should be in writing and mere oral promise to pay is not sufficient. So friends, promissory note is nothing but a written promise to pay a debtor. For example, Rajesh wants to pay 10,000 to Shyam. So Rajesh will issue a written promissory note to Shyam which will specify the principal amount, that is 10,000, the name of the parties, date, terms of repayment and maturity date, and all this will be in a written format. Moving on. Friends, next question is two joint products A and B are produced from the same process. So pre-separation joint cost is given as 30,000 and units are produced as A is produced of 100 units and B is produced of 50 units. So here we have to calculate joint cost apportioned to the product B. So the options are 5,000, 7,000, 10,000, 12,000 and 15,000. So let's try to solve this question. So friends, here first we have to calculate the average cost per unit. So that will be calculated by the total pre-separation joint cost divided by total number of units produced, that is 100 plus 150. So this will come as 30,000 divided by 150. So if we solve this, it will come as 200. So friends, in the given question we have to calculate joint cost of product B. So joint cost of product will be B is produced of 50 units. So 50 units at the rate rupees 200 per unit. So that will come to 10,000 rupees. So the correct answer is option C, 10,000. So moving on. Friends, next question is what is the current bank rate prescribed by RBI? So friends, here the option is 3.5%, 5.5%, 4.25%, 4.30% and last option 5.25%. So remember that friends, the current bank rate is option C, 4.25. And what is bank rate? So friends, bank rate is the rate at which RBI lends money to the domestic banks, and basically this is done in the form of very short term loans. Moving on. Friends, next question is from the law part. Here the question is cost records and cost audits are covered under dash of the Companies Act 2013. So friends, here the options are section 13, section 148, section 96, section 138 and section 139. So friends, remember that the provisions related to cost records and cost audits are covered under section 148 of the Companies Act 2013. Regarding the other section, section 13 relates to alteration of memorandum, while section 96 relates to annual general meeting, section 138 relates to internal audit, while section 139 relates to appointment of auditors. So friends, for more practice of such MCQs, please visit our website financemcq.in, where the entire technical syllabus is brought to you in MCQ format for practice. And friends, this technical syllabus is very important for your selection, as it covers 100 marks out of the total 150 marks of the BHEL Supervisor Trainee Finance exam. So friends, this website financemcq.in presents 2000 plus MCQs covering accountancy, business law, costing, economics, income tax, GST, management in subject-wise or topic-wise format for you to practice. And friends, this content of financemcq.in is prepared by professionals such as chartered accountant or cost and management accountant, which gives this course a professional edge and in-depth coverage of the entire technical syllabus. Friends, we have added explanations for correct answers wherever required for conceptual clarity, and apart from this, there is an email support for clarification of doubts raised by candidates while practicing these contents. And friends, the system of financemcq.in is designed in such a way with timer facility so as to give the candidates a real exam-like environment. So do visit financemcq.in and practice for your technical syllabus well. So see you all tomorrow friends with a new set of MCQs. Till then, thank you very much for watching. Take care and goodbye.